Thank you for joining us. My name is Charm. I'm your host for this evening, and this is another episode of Multiple Personality Intelligences. And the guest that I have the prestigious honor of joining me this evening. First, we're going to go to Mr. Robert Smith. Introduce
Hey,
yourself,
hey
sir.
everybody. Hey Rob. Hey y'all. This is Robert Smith. I am the guest for tonight. I run my own businesses. As you guys know, I was on the last panel. Um, I work in banking, teach financial consulting, credit repairing, investments, uh, and apparently a relationship coach.
All right. I like that. Also joining us this evening, we have Mr. Will Phillips. Please
Hey,
introduce yourself, sir.
Will Phillips. I work for a part-time nonprofit organization. I work with clients. I'm a nursing student and a part-time waiter. So I'm really happy to be here and offer my opinion on what we're talking about tonight. So
That'll work, man. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate both of y'all being here. So we're gonna jump right into it. The basis of this conversation, the basis of this conversation for this evening is going to be what is the reality of dating, relationships, and marriage for modern men in 2022. Now, I just want to break that down really quick and just talk about what the reality of dating is for modern men in 2022.
It depends on who you're asking. Uh, if I was to jump right in, forgive me, Will. Um,
you're all right.
if I was to jump right in, I would say in the modern day life that we're dealing with, um, again, um, as in last week's um, conversation we had, we're our women to be men. So in this situation that we have today concerning relationships and things of that sort, men really don't have a role. And the reason why I say that is because we have empowered women to be so self-sufficient in a way to where it's hard for us to even come back to catch up to where they are. A lot of women today are so far advanced to the point to where that's why they say I don't need a man. They're so far advanced because they said, listen, okay, Wall Street is making us famous. Corporate America is making us famous. Why can't we be famous in the home? Why can't we have the same respect that we get at work at home? So with us creating a narrative that a woman is as strong as a man, the dunamis of it all is that we're going to be stuck trying to figure out, are we dating a woman or are we dating ourselves? That's just my brief viewpoint on that.
Hmm.
So would you say that men are giving women that same level of respect that they require women to give them?
I wouldn't say they're giving them the same respect. What I would say is that we're giving them a conduit of respect because we're not giving them the but we're giving them the respect to meet us where we need them. Does that make
So
sense?
yeah, that makes sense. But like why? But like why? Like if like I'm a man, but if I was a woman, um, why would I want to give you a higher level of respect than you're willing to give me? That wouldn't make sense to me. If I was a woman,
So
but
think about this. In the creation of a woman, she came from a man, right?
check,
So even if the woman supersedes the man, she still came from who?
still came from the man.
Okay, so there are some subservient qualities that a woman will possess simply because she came from what?
She came from a man. I'm tracking that. I get
I rest my case.
But
that.
but see, yeah, what you have to
Listen, think about it. Think about it. You got men, right? If we could take and jump now, listen, I know Multiple personalities, I got it. But I want you to see the dynamic that I'm presenting. If we can make a woman, the Bible says that God created us in His image, right? So if we can pull a woman from our rib, a woman from our, we're men, three men, yeah. We could pull a woman from our rib. The things that a woman possessed came from what? Y'all better catch where I'm at.
The things that a woman possess.
If the
Came from
woman
what?
came from us, if she came from us, she came from a bone of us. In a bone, the DNA of a bone carries whatever geneticist is carried in a man, right?
Correct.
So think about what I just said.
But she came from the man. The woman came from the man. Came from the rib of the
She
man.
she came from the rib of a man. So that means her DNA carries traits of what?
Oh, I forgot
Men.
the exact past. I think you get into like servitude, submission, what have you. No.
I'm getting into the point of saying this. If a woman has decided, or if a woman's going to be, what's the word I want to say? I'm thinking of a word. I can't think of it right now. There's a dynamic. Men have their traits, women have their traits. The only thing that separates a woman from a man is certain characteristics, certain behaviors, certain um, extremities, right?
Chromosomes.
Chromosomes, right? Now watch this. But does the woman carry a different mindset of a man? Steve Harvey said what? Act like a lady, what?
Yeah, think like a man.
But they,
Because it's already embedded in them because they came from a man.
but as men, we
I
tend to
think, well,
they don't. So they're emotionally based. So you have to remember that.
But a lot of men are emotionally based.
Okay. Well,
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I can't.
Because watch this, Will. If a lot of men were not emotionally based, do you think homosexuality will be homosexuality? You got a man that can play a woman in a homosexual relationship. Figure that out.
I'm not sure I'm tracking. Say that.
Oh, look. Charms say what I'm talking about. He smiled real hard. He know what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
So if we could create men, if women or fathers, because think about it, people always say mothers bring forth the child, but fathers create them. They come from our sperm, right?
Yep.
Think about that.
There. You made an interesting point earlier. You said you used the word subservient, but I brought back to say that a woman will and wants to be subservient and play that role, but if you put her in a position where she has to protect herself by being masculine, if you're not doing what you need to do as a man, that's where all the the masculine traits and the attitude and the I don't need a man attitude comes from. You have to put her in a position to where her natural femininity flourishes, and that happens when you're naturally masculine. When you're out here, you know, wilding out and being quote unquote, whatever. Women protect themselves by being hard. So that's where the non-subservient comes.
But what? But watch this, well. The non-subservient
That's
complex.
hey, Bit Will, what you said at the end? That's where the what comes in.
The not being subservient to men comes from because women are, when you are acting out of your masculine energy, you're acting out of your role as a man, and they basically pick up the slack and they do that for you, and they step out of their feminine energy and out of their subservient nature, and that's when you get the whole I don't need a man, I'm independent bee, and all this foolishness you see. That's where that comes from. Women want to be subservient. That's not a bad word to them, but you have to give them that
Arena.
To do so. Yeah.
Energy, atmosphere. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. Atmosphere.
One thing that I can say about if we were to go into the complete doxology of anatomy, the DNA of a man is in a woman.
Mm-hmm.
The DNA of a woman
mm-hmm.
is in a woman. and a man, because we don't know the geneticists of what a child's going to be until we find out. So geneticists formulate, okay, we're going to, from the sperm of this man and this woman, here's a girl. You have the seeds of her father in her. Then you have the seeds of her mother in her. Whatever character traits that are in her, she's going to learn from who presents it to her, because she's already innately got it there. So when people say that women cheat just as much as men, it's already there. The mentality is already there, but simply because she came from 1, 2, and 3 somewhere along the line. So we as men should not get mad at women for being who they are, because women are part of us.
I hear you speak a lot about nature, but I don't know how much you're speaking about nurture, or environment. Like, I hear you with the we came from, but environment plays a lot into it too.
It does, but here's the thing though. Everybody operates their lives in different things. Either way, the mother came from a man and a woman too, right?
Everybody comes from a man and a woman.
The first rule of nature is what? Self-preservation. Let that sit in. We all, men and women alike, if you're astute enough, we're astute enough. The first thing that we're going to do is preserve ourselves. Yes?
Sure.
So when a woman preserves herself, she's getting it from what she's already nurtured from her nature, mom and dad. From the procreation, mom and dad. From the geneticists, mom and dad.
I kind of get both of you guys' points. I can see both sides, but in terms of just to try and realign themselves in reference to whether women may be subservient, or if we want to get into nature, or if we want to get into nurturing. What I want to do is realign back to what is dating these women, these modern women in 2022 like. What is that? What is dating alone? I don't want to get to the relationship aspect yet, or marriage, but just simply the initial contact, the trying to get to know someone, the approach, whether it's online or in person. What is that like for modern men today, in you all's opinion?
Well,
I'm gonna let Will go first. I'm gonna let him do this one.
Like the online aspect, like, the apps and all that, a mass number of people at one time, that in and of itself. Also, you can be whoever you want to be behind the screen. You can be charming and confident, but when you have to go out and meet people face to face, I think that's a skill a lot of people, men, don't have anymore. And the reason why we don't is because a lot of women have given off the impression that they don't want to be approached. And so from a woman that it's not that they don't want to be approached, they don't want to be approached by assholes. They don't want to be yo baby, yo yo. And so good guys hear that, and they're like, oh, well, I want to approach you. But they weren't talking about the good guy, they were talking about the bad. Anyway, so that in of itself makes dating a lot more harder. And then overall, in terms of just dating, there's a lot of expectations that women have for men 30 and up. Like when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, broke, didn't have any direction, whatever, it's easy to date. You go out, you have fun. But when it's serious, when you're an adult, there's some expectations that you have. There's certain ducks you have to have in a row before a woman will even give you time. Basics: a house, a car, a job, whatever. So that kind of makes it like not harder, but it makes it I don't know.
Challenging.
Challenging, very challenging.
Because you might be a guy, you might have great qualities, but you might have everything to look for, and that right there can just be an issue, I guess.
Hey, Big Rob, we can hear your ice loud and clear over here.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Good. Real quick,
I'm done.
real quick, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. This is Multiple Personality Intelligences. This evening, I'm your host, and we have two panelists on the table tonight, Mr. Robert Smith, as well as Mr. Will Phillips. Like, share, and drop a comment if you have any questions. Um, Mr. Robert, in regards to dating, what is your perception on modern dating for modern men today?
I think challenging is a very appropriate word. Will touched on some very awesome points. Very awesome points. One of the craziest things about it is that we have to understand that no matter what, men and women are different. That's number one. Number two, Will touched on something that really went home. He touched on the pretty much the fact of how what do I want to call it?
How you had to have women in a certain atmosphere in order for them to want to be in their submissive.
Right. Their role. But here's the thing, though. I love what he said, and he hit some valuable points. But when we have people who are not, see, I was raised by Big Mama, Grandma, for a lot of people. Grandma has changed. The dynamic of women have changed upon the dynamic of men. So nowadays, men don't want good men like, or I'm not gonna say good men, or decent, clean men like us, right?
You mean
They
women?
want that thug mentality. Oh, I'm sorry. Women want men that are of that thug mentality. We're upstanding citizens and all that stuff right there. They want to see that racks and stacks versus that clean and together. They
Yeah.
want that. They want that fast money. They want that thug. Listen, if you got a thug, you somebody. That's what a lot of women think today.
Mm,
If you got a drug dealer, you a queen pin. That's what you are. But here's the thing: you're getting a title off of somebody else's lack accomplishment to them, but lack of accomplishment to us. Because you may be able to get racks and stacks. You got a house, you got a car, you got good credit, you got racks and stacks, but you got 25 to life behind your name.
mm.
Yeah.
That's what women want today. Because this is what TV has perpetuated to them. Now watch, I'm going to change dynamics, but it's going to make sense. That's what TV has perpetuated to them, but the people on TV making money like the white man. I'm going to shut my mouth after that point.
So let me ask you this: why do you think that is? Like, I know a woman. I'm not going to call her names because she might be watching, but I know a woman who has a great job. She's mid-40s, but she told me specifically that she wants that bad boy. She likes some thug rough dudes, just like the ones you described. But she guys like she'll let guys like me, but she wants to.
Entertain her.
Okay, that's the word you want to use. Okay, yeah, that. But she won't take you seriously as a potential partner because you don't have that, like he said, the thug. And it's just baffling to me how a grown woman who's in her mid-40s would think that way. That's I just where that comes from.
I mean, I think like y'all don't believe in just like attraction, though, regardless of whether a woman, I'm sure women know hardworking, honest men that make a decent living, provide a good living for themselves, financially comfortable, but they may just not be attracted to these type of dudes. So are they supposed to forego the type of man they're attracted for the type of guy that they're not attracted to necessarily just because he
Yes.
he said yes.
Listen,
Yeah.
if you see my face, I'm just like, what the fool? I'm gonna say this. No disrespect when I say this. No disrespect when I say this. A very strong. I'm a culture my words. All right. A very strong majority of women are selfish. If
Yeah.
you got a man, if you got a man that's willing to go out in the streets. Sorry, I said streets, streets, and potentially put himself in danger
Mhm.
just to get racks and stacks.
Mhm.
That a woman, when you die, gonna be on with your best friend that's making racks and stacks too. Let them do it, because
But
at the end of the day, they're gonna always be alone because they're gonna keep changing from person to person to person to person to person. There's never gonna be no solid dudes like us holding her down, because that's not what she wants. She wants that quick. Let me get that Louis. Let me get that Christian Dior. Let me get that. But the same people that's sitting before you, myself, Will, and Charm tonight,
yeah,
can provide the same thing and keep that maintenance going for her 24/7, 365, 50 years and beyond. But they want that thug person to make themselves feel satisfied for that moment, simply because what they think that thug is providing. We can provide the same thing, we just don't have the mentality. That's the difference.
And that's
so
why,
do you two think that may be due in part to the environment that they're brought up in?
yeah,
Absolutely,
oh,
absolutely.
yeah, that's a,
It's a given. That's a given.
So so is it their fault then if they're a product of their environment?
Here's the thing. Most people of modern day, my mother was born in 69. So my mother kind of thinks old school. But I was raised by Granny, who was born in 43. Whole different dynamic, because the men were different in each time. But if we have television, I'm going to tell you how I became who I am. And I told you this, Charm. I became who I am, minus the Quaaludes, by watching Bill Cosby. Because to me, in the time that I was coming up, that was America's what? Dad. Black, supposed to be dad. And if you don't have an example, you can't talk about it. You haven't experienced it. If you don't have a leader to show you what it looks like, how can you talk on something you never experienced?
right.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like if that was then, this is not, and
Now it's ratchet.
we at where we at today. So like, like I mean, for me, like I wouldn't even want to have sex with a chick that don't even want to have sex with me first off. You know what I'm saying? If she's not attracted to me, if she, you know what I'm saying, don't just willingly find me attractive and want to get down or whatever, then like I don't really, you know what I'm saying, I don't really want nothing to do because it ain't gonna be worth it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. It's just not gonna be worth it. I'm not gonna enjoy
So
myself.
if you know it ain't worth it, why do it?
I'm not.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So and I think women, women think like the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like why like I understand, if it's a good man, choose a good man, but at the same time, if a woman is not attracted to a certain demographic of men for whatever reason, may, especially if it's based off attraction, like I really can't get mad at them for that. You know what I'm saying? Like if they
And
want the
Where
bad boy, the dope boy, the drug dealer, the ex-con, or whatever, if that's
I,
what they're
so
attracted to,
I'll tell you why I don't agree with that, because particularly these women, if you're older and there's kids in the mix and you've been through these relationships and they've been abusive and volatile and haven't worked out and you're still chasing that, I do fault women for that, because you're putting yourself in that, you're choosing that, and you're jeopardizing these kids and you're jeopardizing your situation for, like Robert said, the dope boy, the quick Louis, the quick. It's not that's a you problem at that point.
yeah.
Choice.
So let me give you this something. You said some stuff back, and I wanted you to think about something. Remember when I told you in the last one, everything begins with a thought. Thoughts turn into your own imagination. Then you can formulate in your mind to your own reality. So if you think that a man should look this way, a man should be this way,
Mhm.
okay, You don't think that until you see it exhibited somewhere. If you watching Trick Daddy or Ball Greasy,
Shout out Trick Daddy, shout out Ball Greasy.
shout out to them, yeah, right. Shout out to Kevin Gates. I like Kevin Gates.
Right.
He's a philanthropist. I like him. But if you see those men being who they are for the black community, I'm gonna use that. What do you think the women of the black community are gonna think? They're perpetuating one thing entertainment wise for funding.
Right.
But when they get that check, they go to shout out to JP Morgan, shout out to Charles Schwab, shout out to all right.
Goldman Sachs. I hear you. I know you're.
Hey, real quick. I dropped the link on the Facebook page or whatever, so y'all can copy it from there on your phone or something, and then
Absolutely.
boom, y'all could
Can we share it?
We can share it? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Where is it? I don't see it.
I get what you guys are saying, but I mean, you do have a point as far as if they're continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome.
It's insanity. It's so insanity. Because if you think that doing the same dumb stuff is gonna bring a different outcome, all right. Has it worked for you yet? Okay.
So, like, my thing also is, in terms of dating, like, I see a fairly good amount of women walking around with men. I don't know if they're friends, I don't know if they're in relationships, but I do see them walking around with men. So, I mean, this notion that women are going to be alone for a prolonged period of time, is that actually have any merit to it?
Wait, what's the question? Are women going to stay friends with men for long?
Well, I mean, men, I hear a lot of men say, "Oh, when, buy a dog, die alone, or you're lonely, or this, that, and the third." But when I'm out and about in the general populace, going to the mall or running my errands throughout the day, I do see a fair amount of women by themselves, but I also see a fair amount of women with men. Whether they're in relationships or not, friends, I don't know, but I see just as many. So I don't know if the notion that a lot of women are just out here lonely is really holds up. I don't think that has any weight.
I think that's a presumptuous question, kind of. Because the reason why I say that is because we don't know the dynamic or the dexterity of their relationship.
Correct.
So for us to be assumptive on that, it could be anything. Because I'm gonna tell you, behind the scenes, that bro could be LGTB, whatever that's LG, whatever it's called. We don't know. So I think that's a presumptuous question or a presumptive question.
I would say, to answer that, women in their 30s, mid 30s, early 40s, they're very selective of who they give their energy and their time to. If you see that, like you said, out and about, it's because she's very actively choosing to be seen that way. Like when a woman's in her teens, in her 20s, and even late 20s, she goes out, she's out, let's go out, hang out. But women who are older, they don't tend to do that. So like you said, if you see, it's for a reason. Like Robert said, it might just be a friend, might be a LGBT, whatever, but she's choosing to give that energy because she doesn't have a lot of emotional whatever left after years of so many to just be out and about, like seen with everybody. That's
I agree. I tell you, I second that. That's a good narrative.
Yeah.
How does women taking that approach? How does that affect men? Like
it doesn't. It really doesn't unless they're insecure.
Well, I mean, like, what is the experience? Like, I hear you say that, but what is the experience for the man? Like, because the cause is that this woman feels this certain type of way. She doesn't want to just release her energy to anybody, or she's serious. She's more restrictive with the time that she's willing to give or deal with the person. So that's the cause and the effect of men having to try to court her. Do you find these women just difficult to deal with, or like what traits do those type of women exhibit that men may not necessarily like?
Go, Will.
Well, in my experience, they don't put up with a lot at all. It's very short. It's like the moment you do something that recalls her past.
Out of there.
She out of there. Yep.
So you have to stay on.
That's why I wanted Will to go first. I wanted to see if he was thinking what I was thinking.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of room to screw up. So that bothers me, because it's like, hey, I'm human. I'm gonna screw up. Like if you're gonna out just because you're still not healed from your past, and maybe we don't need to be friends. Maybe we don't need to be dating. So you have a very short fuse with them, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
They ain't playing no games over there, huh?
That ain't playing no games. That's why I wanted Will to go first, because I was like, if I'm just from listening to Will, he's very astute. So I know if I'm thinking one thing, he's probably gonna match me, and he said exactly what I was thinking. There's trauma bonding and damage there.
Sure, absolutely.
That's it. That's it. And most times when you get into a trauma bonding, I'm gonna use me and my ex trauma bonded. I was going through divorce, got with her, and I used to apologize to her all the time, saying, I put you in a position you were not ready for. But she knew, because she experienced it already at some formulation. Well, like I said earlier, image, experience.
Right.
Excuse me. So having said this, on one hand, if a woman continues to do the same thing over and over again, we call that insanity. But then on the other end, on the opposite end, if she leaves when she sees or observes these red flags, then she's short-tempered, doesn't cut a guy sprout or whatever. So what is the medium? I mean, what are women supposed to do in that situation?
Healing. I'm with Will. Healing. Because here's the thing: a person who's healed can separate the two.
Yeah. You shouldn't be dating if you're not healed.
No, I mean, you can't really dictate when you meet somebody, when that person is going to come along. A lot of times that's when you meet like those longer type relationships, when you out minding your business, you're not even thinking about another person, and then boom, like there she is, or there he is for the woman or whatever, and it just takes off, right?
I think in those instances, you just find out how healed you truly are.
Yeah.
But seriously, I'm being serious, because one thing about healing, one thing for me, I go to therapy. But one thing that I listen for, Will, in any conversation is listening. I'm going to say it again. One thing I listen for in any conversation is listening. Because if I can repeat something you said, that means I'm listening to what you're saying.
Right.
And I'm going to make an assessment if I want to deal with it or let it go.
Yeah.
Just in the initial.
So
that's a skill a lot of people don't have to.
I mean, you guys make it kind of, you guys put women in a difficult like position, because you say well, just heal, just heal. So if a woman just has to heal, is the man due in part to recognize those red flags or signs that this woman may need some additional healing, so I don't need to try and court her in that type of manner?
It should be on her to recognize that when, like you said, when it just happens naturally,
so it's all on the woman. It's all on the woman, is what y'all saying?
Because it's
no. Wait. I want you to think about this, Will. I'm gonna give them biblical scripture. That's why I snapped, because the man upstairs brought to my attention. The Bible says that the unbelieving husband shall be saved by the sanctified wife. The unbelieving husband shall be saved by the sanctified wife. So in other terms, If she wants to take her energy, pour it into us, and we don't become at some point, she knows her position. She knows what she's supposed to do. The woman knows, the Bible says she's the help meet. She's the help meet, right? And then the Bible also says that the unbelieving husband shall be saved by the sanctified wife. That term saved means to capture, to collect, to hold, to endure. If she don't do her part, how can we become?
I'm not gonna cap. I don't really. I just, for whatever reason, I don't know the Bible like that. You know, and I understand. I get what you're saying, but I mean, I just think that the men do have some culpability. You know, with identifying some of these symptoms that you just both of y'all just like healing. Y'all kind of said it at the same time too. Relatively fast. So I mean, is like are these traits relatively easy to observe or see in a woman?
No, because you have to. I've been personally.
She has to present them.
I've been in a situation where women will hide that stuff just to be with somebody, and then months later, it's like, whoa, where is this coming from?
Where's this coming from? Right.
She's hiding it. So it's on her. It is literally on her to recognize, hey, I'm not healed. I should not date right now. Because if she doesn't do that, she will hide it, and you think you're dating this person, and the whole time it's another person.
Listen, I was in a relationship. Worst year of my life.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Listen, the first 4 months, 3 to 4 months, sweet, wonderful, kind, coming up, sitting at my job all day, all this stuff. Yeah. Middle months, started seeing like we move in together. You're lazy. You wash clothes, throw them on the floor. You cook, don't want to clean. The last 4 months, you're a hellion. Tried to kill me. All this stuff. I'm telling you.
Got to go.
Bro, listen. When you leave, they tried to kill you for leaving.
Damn.
Bro, I'm going to tell you something. If anything, and here's where I effed up in this situation. I saw the red flags, but I wasn't paying attention to them.
That part.
Because I love what she was providing in the bedroom, not what she was providing in the other rooms.
Whose fault that is?
Mine. And I'm going to tell you this right here. I'm going to tell you this right here, bro. That thing, like I told you, that presence last time, mess us up so bad that we miss all of the signs we should have been seeing.
Yeah.
This is why Steve Harvey came up with that 90-day rule, because you can find out a lot about somebody in 90 days. Because, bro, if they want to get in, jumping in real quick, you don't know. They might be trying to cap you, collect you, select you, or neglect you. Because that experience,
yep,
how they respond after that experience, let you know what they think about you.
So to be clear, like, both of you think the man has 0% culpability in this. Is all on the woman.
I wouldn't say 0%. I would say that we make the wrong judgment calls sometimes. We pull it out the wrong source. Because here's the thing, a lot of people talk about love, and most people don't even know what the hell love is because they never experienced it in real life.
Yeah.
It's a formulation. It's what you think. Whatsoever a person thinking, right here, they become. If you think love is what's love got to do, but then you're talking about, and I will always love you. Off of what though?
But
what you tell me?
Do what percentage of the culpability do men have in that, because they're dealing with these women? So at what point do if men can't recognize these symptoms early on, do men need to enter other types of training courses or something? I don't know. But when they do find out or observe these symptoms from these women, what should they do at that time? Make an ultimatum?
I'm big on
No,
accountability.
accountability.
I'm big on accountability, and if you have to do your due diligence, you have to definitely try to ask questions and get to know and match up things at what she does if they don't add up. But at the end of the day, like we said, if she's gonna hide it and you're not gonna know, you're just not gonna know. And when you realize that it's, he said, after the few months, the craziness and trying to kill and all this comes, that's when you go.
You just cut it off?
You have
Hell
to.
yeah, you cut it off. You ain't got no choice.
Okay, so
Oh,
we kind of got a grasp on dating or what have you, but going into relationships, you've been through the ringer, you found a woman, that you're interested in, y'all like minded, y'all gonna give it a shot, y'all done been on a couple of dates or whatever. Like now we're serious to the point to where y'all exclusive. It's just you and her. Like what is that experience for the modern man today? And real quick,
What'd you say, Will?
I said I'll let you speak because I couldn't tell you. I'm not.
Hey,
Listen, I can't either.
real quick, I was just going to say thank everybody for joining us. This is Multiple Personality Intelligences, and currently we are addressing. What are we addressing, fellas?
Dating
A mess.
woman in 2022.
Modern relationships for men in 2022 and beyond. So I'm sure you guys have had your fair share of relationships or getting to the point to where you're going to get into a relationship, and either you enter that relationship or you choose not to go into that relationship for whatever reason. Like what do you believe men are most likely to run into today within the confines of a relationship with a woman?
That's a loaded question, man, because I could say so much. A lot of inconsistency,
Yeah.
a lot of uncompatibility, a lot of illusion, a lot of delusion, a lot of false narrative, a lot. The trajectory of it all looks like this. Women have a skewed view of men because they don't know, again, they don't know what a real man looks like. Nobody really knows what a real woman, what a real man looks like. We go off of the formulation of what's presented to us by our parents, by our friends, by our family members. We don't have a true, hey God, show us a real man, show us a real, we don't have that. We go off of what we formulate in our minds. And once we formulate in our minds, we begin to narrate it to ourselves till it becomes a reality to our spirits, formulating what we think or thought a real whatever is. It all begins with what we think. Period.
So do you believe that's the primary reason, or one of the primary reasons, why there's so much clashing, between men and women trying to date and, entering these relationships? And what are gender roles? Do we follow them? Do we not? Are they good? Are they not? Are we traditional? Are we modern? Do we flip flop, etc.?
What is traditional? What is modern?
I mean, traditional is the history, is the past, is what our ancestors did, and I guess be today.
Will you hit on that one, Will?
So the type of women that I attract, first, my personality is this. I do not like, when I hear women say, I want a man to provide for me and lead me and do this, bells go off in my mind, because my personality is, I'm very independent. And I know that sounds opposite of what we're saying we want women to be, but I don't like the idea of me having to take care of someone and lead you. I feel like if you're a grown person, you should make your own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
My wife, we make them together, but I don't want to sit there and lead you and guide you. So when I hear that, I get bells go off in my mind. So
Will, tell them we ain't no babysitters.
Right. But at the same time, the women that I attract and that I want are those women. They're very traditional. I want a man to lead, guide me. So I have, in my personal relationships, I have a lot of conflict and clash and not working out, because it's like They want to be treated a certain way, but everything in me is saying, no, you're grown. You make your own. You do you, and we can do stuff together. But I'm not going to lead you in decisions because you're grown. And I just never understood why women think that way. Is that their nature? I don't know.
I think that goes back to tradition.
Yeah.
And,
How she was taught.
yeah, the upbringing, the culture in the household and in the community or what have you. But if like every man, I'm not going to say every man, but you know, the social contract that I guess is fair to say that we've established for modern days,
Yep.
is that the man leads the household, the man is the provider, the man is the protector. So trying to get into a relationship or being in the dynamics of a relationship, what does that look like to you if you don't want the woman to necessarily follow your lead? You kind of want her to trying to get an understanding of
Okay.
the balance that you're seeking, because you don't want her to want you to lead because you want her to pretty much think for herself, if I'm tracking, if I'm hearing that correctly.
When she says lead, a lot of times what they mean is like you make the big decisions, or you support me emotionally and all this kind of stuff. And okay, but when the issue I have is like I just don't want to be that for you, because it's like you're grown, like you can go make your own money. You can decide if there's stuff within the household that it's a big decision, we make that together. And, you know, I may or may not have the final word, but I don't want to be just thrust into the automatic role
Partnership.
of partnership. I don't want to be thrust to the role of, okay, go figure it out, lead me, because I don't know what the heck to do. Like I don't know either. Like, what the world? Like, I just don't like.
We all trying to figure it out as a collective.
It just, when a woman says that, it just screams to me, I can't think for myself, and that's a turn off to me. I don't know why that is. It's just my personality. I'd like somebody that can think for themselves and not depending on me, because I'm very introverted and I don't want you all up. You know what I'm saying? But that's Will. That's not you, and that's not Robert. So, you know,
It's listening to Will is just plain out codependency. You're taught to be codependent.
yeah.
You're taught to be codependent, like period. Because here's the thing. In order for let's go back to what was the name of that show? What was the name of that show? With Fred Savage. What was his name? Wonder Years.
Great.
Look at how the mother didn't work, dad was there. She wasn't going nowhere because she knew where her bread and butter was.
Yeah.
That's what the narrative, the traditional thought pattern was. Man takes care of the house, woman stays home, takes care of the house for the kids, and does whatever is expected. Dad brings the money home, take care of the home, provides, protects. So be it.
Mm-hmm.
That was with an S and a Z what the narrative was.
Mm-hmm.
Now today is real bad bitch don't need a fuck out of nigga. That's the narrative today.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you listen to, I've listened to that song. If you listen to that song, there's a song that they have where it tells them to rob a nigga or make him fall in love with you and then take all his money. This is what they're teaching women today.
Crazy.
How to be men, or supposed men, the bad boys. Now you're teaching women to be bad boys.
I mean, what if women are just learning how to protect themselves?
From what?
Men. Like y'all, like a lot of y'all crazy.
Whoa, ain't no y'all. Wait, let me tell you something. Wait, let me fix this. Let me tell you one thing about me and Will I can tell right now. I ain't finna be going to jail for well, unless I go. The only reason I'm going to jail. My kids will tell you. Dad will go to jail and to hell for us. Them the only people I'm going to jail for. That's number one. I got 4 of them little people, and they know that. And I tell them all the time. Somebody mess with y'all, tell them my daddy crazy. He'll take you out, because that's number 1. Number 2, when it comes to a woman, I'm gonna use me as an example. A woman will turn on you just as quick as a quarter flip sides.
That part.
Come on, you can't say that about all women, man.
Boy, hush. Listen, you better leave me alone.
Yeah, you can't listen to things.
Well, he better leave me alone, Will.
No, I'm saying like you do have, a certain demographic of women that are like that, but I mean you can't just like I know a bunch of cool chicks, man, that ain't never crossed me. I mean some day ones.
Because you
I
ain't
don't have
slept
a lot
with him.
that don't cross me,
Because
but
you probably ain't slept with him either. Listen, watch this. I'm gonna hit you. That dick could change their energy.
I mean it always changed their energy, but you know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. What you said, Will?
I said, well, yeah, I agree.
But
If it's good enough, it'll change their energy.
yeah, 100%. I don't disagree with you on that. But to the ones that you haven't, what I'm saying, been involved with or whatever, like it's some. I know some cool ass chicks, man. I've been a lot of places in my life. I've met a lot of chicks, black, white, blue, green, orange, purple, brown, across the board.
If you met a blue woman, I want to meet her. I want to get a hug.
No, man. I mean, it's a lot of good women.
I snorted.
There's a lot of good women. Like y'all don't think it's a bunch of good women?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what I saw. Will, I'm gonna give you this what I saw earlier today. I was washing my car, brother. You ready for this, Will?
Yep.
I'm washing my car earlier, and I'm sitting there. I'm a person. I love being like right now. I love being alone because I do a lot, so I have a lot of time to process a lot of things, whatever. So I'm sitting here. There's a car next to me, and they're getting their car clean. I see Snow Bunny scampering around like she a sister.
Oh,
Because she with a brother, and she's skimping around. She got the fluffy flip flops on, the fluffy slides on, and the hiked up halter top with your booty cheeks out like a booty, but still, um, and she's skimping around, and I could hear through the window. He talking some, oh my be bad, oh my be this. I'm like, oh, I said okay. I said all right.
What I'm saying, like as far as like the majority of women, like majority of women cool, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like majority of them cool. It's just these you got a lot of clowns that's out here trying to speak for the majority.
But here's the thing though, cool where though? Because see, they may be I ain't even got it out and I felt that. They may be cool in the boardroom and may be hell outside of it.
I mean, I don't know, but I just think it's reach to just say all women like
no.
Watch this. I'm gonna give you this. I got somebody I used to mess with. Love her to death. I talked to her 2 days ago. We were talking. She works for a government company. I'm not gonna say any further because her mom's on my Facebook. But then on the other side, she the reason I know city girls. Let that sit in. Listen, degrees up the butt. Got degrees up the wazoo. But when you see her, you be like, huh. But when she opened her mouth, you be like, this came out of you? Seriously. That was the thing. That was the thing with her that threw me off. I'm like, I can listen to her talk all day long, but the other stuff,
That's an anecdotal experience, though. You know what I'm saying? That as it pertains, like specifically to you, because I agree that there are a lot of women out there like that, but I don't think that's I don't think that's the majority. You know what I mean? I just
well, let's go here. The majority, as in our culture, or majority as in other cultures, because you got Spanish that's coming to our culture. You got some Hindus that I've seen coming to our culture. We are gravitating people our way. We have a lot of influence that we don't want to admit to.
I mean, I do agree that that there is a lot of influence, all over social media these days, and people from all over everywhere gravitate to a variety of different things. But in terms of relationships and the experience that modern men are having in these relationships, I just don't I just don't think we can like put that, put all of that, on women and say like, yeah, this y'all fault. You know what I'm saying?
Give me more.
Got to bust it down the middle, 50-50.
Give me more.
Okay, well, that's just me though.
Give me more. I think you got more that you want to say.
No, I don't want to empty the clip right now, but
Because see, this formulation here is deriving from somewhere that has a criminal setting, and I want to hear the derivatives that come
I
with
mean,
that.
I just find it like it's a reach to just say, it's the woman's fault. This horrible experience that men all over social media today and TikTok and YouTube and Instagram are complaining, and women ain't doing this. They're not what they used to be. They're the worst women in history. They're nothing like their ancestors. They're not strong. They're weak. And
Where did they get it from, though?
The day is on women's neck. Like, you're not good enough.
But where are they learning it from? Other women.
Yeah.
Who are learning from experiences that men have afflicted on them because men didn't know no better either. So everything learns from thought and experience. No matter how you look at it, nobody just decides I'm going to wake up one day and I'm going to be a bad person. It's all formulated for image and experience.
Yeah, but that's why I said it. Then that's why I don't believe we just put it all on women. That's all I'm saying. That's my only point. That's my only
Women,
discussion with it.
They control the narrative. They tell men, okay, this is what happens. A lot of women, if you go on TikTok and OnlyFans, they have their everything. They got all this hanging out. You pay $10, $20, whatever. You can see what I got. They'll be in a whole relationship, talk to other men online and say, this is what I do. Yes, I'm on OnlyFans, but you still have to respect me. I'm still whatever. I'm a good person, even though I'm showing my and they will say that you're a misogynist if you don't accept their
image.
Yeah, and it's just like, no, like you're saying, there's men who appreciate a woman who doesn't do that, who's more traditional, who's more, modest with her, whatever. And we're getting told as men that you have to accept everything, and if you don't, you're a butthole, you're a misogynist. It's like, no, I'm not.
Or you're a punk.
Or you're a punk if you don't like me showing you. It's like, no.
Like I'm gonna tell you something. Watch this, Will. There was something that I saw. I'm in this little group on Facebook.
Yeah.
And there was a picture of a woman that had on a dress that her boobs were hanging out. It was pretty much like the dress looked like a wrap.
Okay.
Not but like a shawl type wrap.
Yeah.
And the comment was, babe, I'm going out with my friends. What would your response be? I said, take all your stuff with you as you go. And people laughed at it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because if you walking out the house, what I told you about representation on the last one, if you walking out the house dressed like that, you ain't representing me. You telling everybody come get me because he ain't doing right.
So, okay.
But wait. You can go to the friends and hang out with the friends, and then after the friends come back to me dressed like that.
So I have a question pertaining to that.
Sure.
So if your stance on that is, oh my God, what you doing? You dress like that? I can't believe you dress like that. My
oh no. That wasn't my stance. My stance was to take your stuff with you as you go.
Right. Right.
Because that means you're not loyal to me. You're looking for the next best thing.
Right. Just follow me. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
So, and we'll like, take stuff and go. Like, you're gonna be like, has this happened? First, has this happened before? Has there been any red flags, or she just all of a sudden she's always dressed exactly the way you wanted her to dress, but then all of a sudden on the humbug she just put on something so provocative that you just gotta be like, you got
for every action there's a greater or equal reaction. So for her to do that, somewhere she feels some type of way that dress makes her feel valued enough to walk out the door knowing she's with you and feel like that's appropriate.
So you couldn't just pull it to the side and be like, babe, like, I think that's a little much. You know what I'm saying?
She knew it when she put it on.
Right. What do you mean? She knew.
What you mean? She knew it when she put it on.
You agree with this?
Listen, if she didn't know putting that on would be offensive or disrespectful to her relationship, something wrong with her.
Has she ever done it before?
It doesn't matter if she done it before. If she doing it now, it lets you know where her mind is.
So you wouldn't just y'all wouldn't give her no warning, no.
No. You want to just okay. You want to go advertise? Go find your advertising agent. You ain't finna come back up in here.
So she wouldn't even have an alternative to.
Wouldn't even have it. Like I told you, I had an ex that would walk around and provocative, like her clothes would be so skin tight. That's bro. It drove me nuts because you know your adornments are big. You know people gonna see it. If you walking around and the other day, I'm gonna tell you what pissed me off. The other day I was in Wawa and this woman with her man, she had on them yoga pants. African American woman, you know she got dunked for years. Why would you put them pants so tight that it looks like see-through and you ain't have on no drawers?
I mean, a lot of women dress in those legging type things today. That's kind of like a trend right now.
But you with your man with no drawers on.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they doing.
If the men accept it, then if that's their man and he like, I'm fine with you doing that. Like, what's the problem?
Well, he
now,
ain't.
If it's your woman,
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that.
If it's your woman, it's your woman. Like if that's not my woman, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But you know, like if it's your woman though, and she's never done that before, and then she just whatever, I don't know, maybe it's a birthday or something, maybe she got a little niece or something, or buy $10 leggings or something from I don't know, some store or whatever. And like she just put them on one day, she don't think nothing of it. Like she gonna get kicked out for that. Like it's over.
I think a conversation should be had before she go. I would be like, hey,
yeah, because she about to get the hell out of here.
Listen, you almost out the door. But here's the thing, because I know me. If you go out with your girls, now I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna tell you. I don't want to tell her my sister. I don't want to tell her, but I'm gonna tell her. Back in the day, my sister would dress provocative and put on regular clothes over the clothes that she had on. She wanted to wear to school. Can't talk about that. Anyway, she would do that. Now your woman could do the exact same thing. I'm not saying that again. You heard what I said. So if your woman put on something provocative under her clothes and put on some business attire, do you think you're going to really examine her attire when you see her walk out with one thing, but you don't know when she get in the car changing into something else?
I mean, if she going through all of that, bro, like
that's right. That's a clear sign.
Yeah, that's.
But there are some women. Well, again, this is why I said what I said.
Something.
My sister did what she did. I love my sister. I hope she don't watch this. My sister did what she did. But she portrayed one thing.
When she did that,
I'm not going into that. My grandmama didn't let my sister walk out. It wasn't bad, but my grandma believed in us looking decent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Taking it away from your sister, I was just looking at the age group. If this was something that was done like around high school or whatever, like I know a bunch of girls that did stuff like that. But within the confines of a relationship with a man, even if we add the caveat, that this man and woman are housed under the same roof, they began dating, they entered the relationship, now they living together. And all of a sudden, the woman in the relationship does something, puts on some provocative clothing for the first time. Like y'all, y'all just gonna
you ain't just look. If you doing that, walking out the house, that's supposed to me. I will correct me if I'm wrong. You seem like a somewhat traditional, moderate man. If that should be a prize for me. That's how I feel. That should be a prize for me and not for other people to see.
And you don't want nobody else looking at your woman like that.
Would you want somebody else looking at your woman like that?
No. I mean, it depends on what she did for work.
Boy, hush.
Oh,
Like for model or something, I don't
I ain't
know.
trying to hear that.
I don't know. But I mean, there are women out there who get paid, for modeling. So,
yeah. No,
but
I feel it.
so now
I
to begin to bring everything full circle. Now we initially just wanted to gauge the dating experience. So, in the dating phase, we looked at the inconsistencies, that you primarily stated were the issues with dating, and then when we get to the relationship phase that modern men experience, I think it's safe to say that you two agree that a lot of women have to heal. Is that's your perspective before they enter into
Absolutely,
new relationships with other men?
and me too. But yeah,
That's
men too,
that's
yeah. Because what will happen is we'll carry the past baggage into the future lifestyle. If you don't effectively heal, you don't effectively grow. Healing is a subsidiary of growth. So if you don't heal, you can't become what you're naturally destined to be. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna use this in the good book. It said that like I love my guy Job. Job went through some stuff, and Job went through some stuff to find out that he wasn't even going through some stuff. He was just in it because God placed him in it, but he put a hedge of protection about him. So a lot of times we have to understand that in order for us to become something, we have to go through something. This is what I think.
sometimes you do have to go through something, and then when you bring up Job, it just makes me think about the temptation that's out there, especially when you're dealing with relationships, all the different temptations that are out there to seek and destroy, would be great relationships or marriages. If you're here with us right now, I just want to say thank you for joining us. This is Multiple Personality Intelligences. Right now, we're discussing the dynamics between men and women. And right now, we're going to roll right into the experience that modern men have in 22 and beyond as they look towards marriage and the later years of their life. So let me go to it. Will
yes, sir.
um, what are your perceptions in regards to marriage for modern men um, currently these days, 2022 and beyond? What does it look like for the modern man?
Uh, for the modern man, it's disadvantageous to be married unless you're absolutely sure that it's going to work out. Because what you're literally doing, marriage is a business contract. It's no longer, oh,
Ooh, that was nice.
you're great, I love you. You're great, I love you. Let's be married. No, it's you have this, I have this. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna take this. Like then there's kids involved. It's disadvantageous to put yourself in that position as a man in 2022 if you want to build generational wealth and build something of yourself. I don't think that marriage is the best route. Or other,
Us men, us men are paychecks.
yeah, there are other ways to do that. There's contract marriages. There's certain types of
Prenups.
prenups. There's other certain type of relationships that have some legal protections. But as far as getting married, I can't see.
You know what? I ain't even want to jump into that, but I'm gonna say this. Do you know? I want to find out when prenups were originated. I want to know who was the person that came up with it, because something had to happen in his marriage or that person's marriage for them to come up with the concept of a prenup to protect themselves.
Yeah,
Yes.
Because if you have to provide a prenup to say, hey, you're coming to this nothing,
hmm
you leave with nothing. You come in with something, you leave with what you left with.
right.
What happened that formulation even ensued?
He
I
lost it.
want to know. I want to know what happened.
Lost
Like
it.
I always say, I want to know the story
I mean,
because
I think it's safe to say that, like, at some point, so most likely somebody that was like really wealthy, married somebody and did everything, handled
And
it.
he knew she wasn't trustworthy.
It was her fault or whatever. And then she was like, yeah, I'm going to take half of this. He was like, no, you're not.
Right.
But here's the thing, though. Before he said, no, you're not, he knew she was like that. That's why he thought about what he did.
All right.
So it's I don't know exactly where it started, but that's definitely a good question. I'm
gonna research that because I want to know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Will. I be wanting to know stuff like that.
I want to know too. It's wise to know.
I know this. I wish that we would talk about one time how to reform child support. I can tell you that.
Let's say child support for next week.
I'm telling you, because they need to reform that crap.
That's gonna be a whole another segment by itself.
Listen, we gonna need 20 men on that one.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna be interesting.
Because you can't tell me men wrote that.
Well, they did.
You can't. But that's the thing that killed me. That's the thing that killed me. I'm like, but wait a minute though. And see, when I think about it, I'd be like, so y'all wrote this because y'all knew y'all wouldn't go through experience this. But for people who do experience it, oh, we gonna punish. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We gonna punish us. Okay, we gonna punish us.
Women didn't do that for themselves. Men did it. Yeah, that's the wild thing.
Ain't that wild, Will? Like the stuff that they put, take your license. Like no matter what it is, you end up in jail.
Your professional license, your driver's license, your credit is ruined. I mean, they will do everything they can to you, and everything that they do that's worse makes it harder for you to pay. Like,
and then when you're in jail, you got to pay to be in jail.
Yeah. It's designed for you to fail.
And that's so stupid to me. That is the stupidest thing to me. And I'm just like, how can we take care of our kids if you keep putting us in jail? And then when you put us in jail, we can't get a job because we got so many child support arrests.
Yeah. Or if you're a barber or a nurse that requires a professional license, they'll take that. So now you cannot work to pay the child support.
Hold on, time out. Am I
right or wrong?
We gonna keep that. I'm gonna chop it up and I'm gonna issue it for next week, right? That's gonna be
listen, that's gonna be a conversation.
It's gonna be a conversation. It's gonna be a real good conversation. It's gonna be a really dope conversation. But I want to do our best to stay on the beaten path. We got time. We got enough time. So I wanted to get into single mothers. Where do single mothers rank in the dating market, in your opinions?
Again?
Where do single mothers rank in your opinion, in the dating market, in your opinion?
Oh, they rank at the bottom. I'm not speaking for me, but I think I have heard, or I know that a man does not want to be responsible for another
man's children.
Like he wants to have his own, but if he feels like if a guy's not taking responsibility, she's basically good. She comes with a lot, especially if she has more than two. A lot of guys, and I don't know. I get.
You put them on the bottom.
I don't like this question, but
it's true.
You put them on the bottom, though, Will, right?
Yeah, but I'll date a lot of single moms, and I don't think that way, but I know that's a lot of guys think. I'm not speaking about me when I say that.
Okay, I get you. Tenfold.
I'm gonna be like Will. I'm gonna protect myself and say I'm not gonna speak like me either.
Man, you gonna protect yourself. Speak your mind.
But that's
I'm gonna say this.
You gotta be real with the people. You can't cap for. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this. I'm not dating this person, but there's somebody I have been having conversation with, and she has kids. And I found myself today. She needed something concerning her kids. I didn't go into my wallet. Did not do it. Did not do it. What I did was I said I called somebody I knew that had what she needed
Yeah.
to take care of their need.
Yeah.
I let her know I was resourceful and not residual. Ooh, I love that. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. I let her know I was resourceful and not residual. You understand what I'm saying? So instead of me being a captain saver, you know what? I took that person, or I used what I knew to help save that person without me depleting myself at some point.
You know what's
Because say it again.
You know what's noteworthy about that is even though she knows you're not dating, she still asks you. And it's just like, you know.
But technically, though, she didn't ask me, Will. She was talking about it in the conversation, and I told her on a million occasions. I said, and she's texting me. I told her on a million occasions, I listen to you and I hear what you say.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to you and I hear what you say. And as a man, I have 4 kids. My kids will tell you, I will protect them from here to Timbuktu. And what I'm going to do is provide for them because that's my obligation to them. They get child support and beyond from their daddy. Because without me, they wouldn't be here. So at the end of the day, anyway, I ain't going there. No, we good. Gotcha.
So like, you would, I mean, I understand you have 4 kids. So a woman with more kids, 2, 3, 4 kids, like that's not. Is that something you're not trying to get into?
Listen, for any man that has the capacity to deal with that, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. With women, they got kids though.
Listen, you remember the TikTok that the girl acted crazy when the man came up with the burger and fries for his son, and she said, "What about the rest of my kids?" I'm not trying to go through that.
But I mean, you got kids though.
I know. If I was that man and I got 1 kid from that woman, I'm gonna feed my 1 child.
Excuse me.
That's my obligation.
So if you
for me, I got 4 kids. I'm gonna feed my 4. If my ex-wife's boyfriend comes over with his 6 kids, I'm not gonna feed them. That's not my responsibility.
You're not
I'm gonna let my kids eat real good in front of them. Or number 2, I'm gonna take my kid. Hey, go ahead and send me my 4 out. We finna go to dinner. So don't nobody feel weird.
That's petty, bro.
I'm petty as hell. Listen, no, I'm being serious, bro. Cause let me tell you something.
Man, F them kids.
I'm gonna tell you something. My kids are my kids.
Oh.
My kids are my kids. At the end of the day, them babies know that they dad. If they called me right now, my son told me earlier, Dad, I want a new iPhone. I said, I just bought you the one you got, and you broke the first one. But he knows Dad gonna do it because he's a good kid. Because I know how my kids are. I taught my kids to be right. I don't know who the hell these people kids are. I'm not going to take them to Red Lobster somewhere and they act like a fool and I have to throw them outside and tell people to give them a sign to I'll work for food. I don't know. But I know how I raised mine.
I understand that. But I'm saying though, like, what's wrong with? Okay, I get it. You don't want to feed them. Plus, that's 6 more kids. That's a lot of kids to feed. That's a lot of money. I get it. You know,
he bought 1 for his 1, and she had 3 more. Like he said, that's a lot. Hey, I didn't know they were gonna be here. And then number 2, those are your other kids. Those are not my kids.
So let me ask you a question.
I feel you on that.
Let's say you start dealing with a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got all 4 of your kids with you, and then she come over, but she only like shows love to 1 of them.
Oh, you got
1 of my kids?
Yeah.
Is the kid her kid?
No.
No.
Oh no, we ain't doing that.
It's got a favorite for whatever reason. So
I'm gonna be asking questions. I'm like, why do you favor that one over all the rest of my kids. What's the connection here?
Maybe she just
That-
favor him just because she favor him, but I ain't saying she nasty or dirty or whatever to the other kids, but it's just noticeable. Like the presence is like if she brings something like, you know what I mean? Like
So she has a favorite kid.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's cool. But here's the thing, though. Me being the person that I am, I'm gonna say, oh, well, I tell you what, this is what we're gonna do. Hey, Dad got some, like my kids are fat. I swear to God, they fat. I'll be like, hey, guess what? Dad got some ice cream sandwiches in there. Go get them. Eat them with them. That's
Dang.
just me. That's just me. Because one thing about me, I'm not gonna leave any of my kids out. Like one of my baby's birthday today. Happy birthday, Trin. Dad loves you. It's her birthday today,
Happy
and I
birthday.
wasn't,
Happy
and
birthday.
I wasn't able to. I
Yeah.
wasn't able to make it.
Shut up.
So what I did was, is I text my ex-wife. I said, "Hey, I know today's Trenchins Day. Dad can't be here." I said, "I know she said that she wanted to do Cracker Barrel on such and such day. Dad's gonna be busy." I said, "So here's what we could do." I said, either I could try to figure out how to get there so we all celebrate because that's what she wants, or Dad can do something just him and her. I said, you let her decide.
I mean,
You hear what I said, Will?
all that. So would you say that you're like with I guess single women with kids, like are they high on your priority list or does it not matter in your opinion? You just want
To me, it doesn't really matter because I think for me, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Will, I love kids. I love kids to the life of me. Even when I'm at work and I hear kids in the background, I'll be talking to the kids. I'm like, put me on speakerphone. I want to talk to the baby. I say stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I love kids. You know, I don't want to. It makes it sound so bad when you say it. They're innocent minds ready to be molded. So I'm that kind of person who I'm always ready to mold a mind. So for me, if I could take one, let's say I deal with somebody who has several kids, right? And in conversation, everything begins with conversation and thought. And in conversation, I find out that this kid has a lot of the same qualities that I possess. Now, just like we talked about that favorite child, you're gonna see me talking with that kid more because we have the same connection and relationship. So, and it's not favoritism, it's about characteristics at that point.
I would
And
say
if I can help that child become something great, because remember, I have certain things behind my belt. You understand, Charm? You know of me. I have certain things behind my belt, and if I can help to train this child up in the way that it should go, as in Bible, whatever, but as in business or as in relationship or as in whatever, to help them to be fermented as a great individual in the earth. Why not? If I have that opportunity to lead, why not?
so you don't see no difference as long as you're a good woman. Like it's
I
good with you.
yeah, that's what it boils down to. Because in my age group, you'll be hard pressed to find a woman who doesn't have it.
Right.
So
Everybody today got at least two or more.
you got to prepare your mind and have that mindset because you're likely going to meet a woman that has kids. So
And then you got to think
Well,
about
I
it
don't
though. A
have
lot of
any
men,
kids, so
we
I
we're
don't
not
have
going into
I
that.
don't
We're
have
we,
any
we're we're not
biological
we're not
kids.
going into that with you today. We ain't going into that with you today. I'm still upset. He be talking about kids, Will, like he got kids, but I love little girl that he does have. But then you have to also look at one other thing, Charm.
So what?
How many of us men want to deal with baby daddy drama?
right,
We don't want to deal with that. An upstanding man like ourselves, we don't want to deal with that bull crap. For what? That's your problem. You fix it.
yeah,
I've dealt with a lot of I shouldn't say dealt with, but I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of women in my lifetime who had kids. I mean, they were some of the coolest people ever. I still rock with a lot of them today. They're just super cool. They always been there for me. They rock with me. They cut for me. I cut for them. And I think a lot of men would do themselves a favor, if they got with a solid woman. Excuse me. Regardless if she had kids or not. A lot of times that structure and that stability that comes from a mother can still in certain ways be constituted in a man's life and to help that man become the best versions of himself. And I'm gonna tell you, I honestly think like the number one thing that women do within the confines of a relationship that help men is that they get their ass in the bed so they can get to sleep at a proper time so they can wake up early enough the next day to go to work and conquer the damn world. That's one of the best things that I notice a woman to do for you. Your partners ain't hitting you up last minute. Hey man, pull up, come through last minute. It's 1, 2 in the morning, whatever. Gone out of there. You finna go see what that's about. You're gonna be up 4, 5, 6 in the morning, then you got to go to work or something, But when you have a woman, that's there for you, that's pouring into you, I mean, the sky's the limit, and most likely by 10 or 11 o'clock at night, she's gonna have your ass in the bed. You're gonna be on the schedule. and you're supposed to be.
I'm gonna give you this. I missed my last one. You made me smile because it made me think about. She has a son, 13. He was great. I bought him some LeBrons. I bought him a lot. He was a great kid. And I agree with you what you just said. But because of her insecurities and other issues, it drove me away. But I was down for her, just like you said. There were times when friends would say, "Hey, Rob, we going out, da 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 da." But because in my mind, I felt like I had a solid woman. I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna stay with her.
I'm gonna chill. I'm good.
I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay at the house. Right. And at the same time, even though she had issue with my phone and thought that I was so unfaithful, but I wasn't. And I still think about stuff like that. I'm like, there were times that were so great that I used to just want to be home with her.
Just spend. Come here, let me hold.
Just spend that. Come on, let's cuddle together. Like she used to do little stuff. Like I'm one of them people. I would sit between her legs and fall asleep. Just chill.
You know what I'm saying?
Just chill. I come home from work. She had a rough day at work. I cook dinner. Shower after that. Sit down, watch TV. I fall asleep, go to bed, kind of thing. That was the kind of stuff we did. That's the kind of stuff.
You got a
good woman. Like I said,
got kids or not?
No, it don't.
She got 5, 6, 10 kids or something. Okay, but she got a kid.
Look at Will's all
maybe 3
Will say
You have to give these women an honest.
You have to give them a chance.
You got to look at them hard, man. And some of them bring nothing extra to the table, but some of them, man, they got a lot of what a lot of these single men need some structure.
But here's the thing, though. But I'm with Will, though. It's a different dynamic today. The young lady I'm talking about, at the time, she was 37, 38 when we were together. I was what, 35, 36, 35, going 36. So, Will's dynamic, as I can probably tell from a test on what he's saying, he's younger than us. Will's dynamic don't know what that is because they didn't have that leadership the way that she did.
Talking about for Will?
Grandma now 39. Grandma ain't 40 and 50. 40s and 50s. Grandma 39, 35.
That's wild to me.
I mean, that's not all women though.
I know. But what I'm saying is this, though, the vast majority today.
I wouldn't say the vast majority. Like the overwhelming majority. Like,
okay, watch this. Let me pull that back. And I hate to be demographically, whatever. The vast majority of African American are, because I'm gonna tell you now. I know people who are 36 and their child is 21.
Well, darn.
And their mother, I don't know, but I know it ain't that much further.
I had to look at what the median age is, but I still want to say that I don't know about just saying the majority of women. I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of great women, man, with all of this shit together. regardless if they had kids or not. You know, and some of them stumbled and made mistakes just like everybody else. But at the end of the day, at their core, they're great women, strong, great women, and they do want a man. You know, I'm not gonna say any man, but they do want some resemblance of a strong, at least quality man. You know, and a lot of guys today overlook them because they have kids, and I think a lot of guys are missing out on a lot of great women because now they got this thing in their head where they're like, "Oh, I can't date a woman with kids because somehow that's bad for me." In certain cases, yes, in others, maybe not so much.
I mean, that could go a lot of different ways. It could be because whatever man may be selfish. Another man may be thinking it may be dramatic because of baby daddy drama. Another man could be thinking because she's looking for a savior because she's a charity case. It's all in the perspective of what a person thinks.
Sorry. Yep.
I mean, yeah, you know, but I mean, that's my take on it, man. I just don't think, you know.
I mean, I get you, but again, it goes all it. Grossly, it is all predicated around the dexterity of what the man thinks, how that person thinks. That's what it's about. It's about how, because look, like I said, I just gave you 3 different dynamics off of one subject.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go further. I just gave you 3 off of one subject.
I mean,
it's all how a person thinks.
I understand. I don't necessarily disagree with you too, but I just, like I said, a lot of great women are getting overlooked because of this whole notion of somehow a woman with, you know, a kid or two is a bad deal. You know, in some cases it's unfortunate, some cases it's warranted, but there are a lot of women out there, man. They got 1, maybe 2 kids, man. They some solid women, man. They just need some solid dudes to come and really team up with them, and they can actually build together or continue to build whatever and do some amazing things, man, and have a great life together, man. It's some great cool ass woman, you know, with some kids out here, man. I'm telling you.
But you say that, but here's the question. In the initial, what are they presenting?
They stand up women.
On what grounds?
What are they, veterans?
On what grounds? What solidifies them to be a stand-up woman in the initial?
The perceptions that I obtained from them in comparison to a lot of other modern women is completely different. They don't dress the same, they don't talk the same, they don't act the same, they don't behave the same, they don't speak the same. There's a lot of different.
So what if that's their representative?
They done been representing for a long time, for years.
Hey, and some women are good at that.
That's true. I'm not knocking that, but
because listen, just like some men, some women are good at playing the victim too.
That's true. That's true.
So at the end of the day, again, it goes back to what you perceive from what you experience from that person.
That's true.
And over time, you will begin to formulate your judgment and your own, I don't want to say thesis or prognosis of what you're depicting from what you're experiencing.
But that's not leaning toward the negative all the time. You know, why can't a single woman with a kid or 2 be a great thing? Why does
nobody ever said that though? But here's the thing about it though.
I mean, a woman last, you know.
Say it again. When I say what?
Essentially, if they're not first, they last.
Well, I didn't say last. Will said last.
I didn't say you did say last. I just said essentially, if they're not the first option, then they're the last option.
I wouldn't say they're not the first option. Again, it all goes back to the person. It all goes back to the person.
You didn't say that. You didn't. My bad. You didn't say that because I kind of said that in the beginning, but I had to retract a little bit. But you didn't. Will was the one saying like, "Oh, they're the last option."
You're right.
Because you was like, if it's cool, and then you talked about your experiences, da da da. But Will, you was the one that saying why they got to be the last option, bro?
I don't remember saying that. Wait, what?
I said what? That single. You said
single women would be the last on your list.
And last option. Why they got to be the last option?
That's just how some men feel because, you know, I was saying that's not how I feel. I was saying in general, a lot of guys.
But you did know, Will. You said it was you, though. You said that was your perspective.
No,
No,
sir.
he did. He actually said that some men. He said in general some men feel like that, but he don't personally feel
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was wrong in that part. Sorry.
Yeah. No. A lot. Women who have a lot of kids are definitely not at the top. Versus a woman who has no kids. Yeah, of course. I don't know.
My hat is acting weird.
Yeah, I just
Sorry,
think
my-
it's a great woman out there. So if you're just tuning in, welcome to Multiple Personality Intelligences. Today I'm your host, Charm, and we're discussing the dynamics between modern men dating modern women, and how that translates into relationships in 2022 and beyond. So we went through dating, relationships, and marriage, and thus far we've come up with that a lot of women are sometimes inconsistent, and that they also need to do some healing before they enter into relationships with men. Personally, I think that men need to do a little bit of healing as well, and they bear 50% of that weight, but not everybody takes that stance. And then lastly, to just cover marriage really quick, you want to give your last thoughts on the perspectives that you have on marriage before we get ready to wrap things up?
Marriage. If you really find someone that you really feel like this is the one, and that you, no matter what happens, that's your person, go for it. But if you're marrying for any other reason, if it's just because whatever reason, I think that marriage in 2022, you really need to evaluate and sit down. Marriage counseling, whether that's in a religious setting or not, get some counseling and really make sure this is what you want to do, because it can really affect the quality of the rest of your life if it does not work out. So I would caution young men or guys my age, if you're going to get married, you need to know what you're getting.
I second his notion, and I concur, and I have nothing to say. He is dead on point. That is a very astute, grounded, rounded synopsis. He hit it dead on the head, because marriage will make you or break you. Because in the end, neither way, you're gonna be broke either way.
Yeah.
If you ain't got something hidden or taking care of yourself on the side, it's gonna break you. So I'm with Will all day long.
Not advanced.
All right. You guys got any shout outs before we get ready to go ahead and wrap this up tonight?
No, but thank you for having me on. I don't know who's watching this, but it's good to be a panelist, and I hope you invite me back, and this was fun.
Where can we find you at?
Me?
Yes.
I'm on Facebook and TikTok. Will Phillips. Just find me. I'm on there.
WILLPHILLIPS.
Right.
What you got in your background again? What's in your background? Your Facebook background?
It's just my fishing stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. It's like a little lake.
All right, that's what's up, man. I'm glad you could be a part of the panel tonight. We really appreciate you. Dropped a lot of gems for us, and we definitely look forward to having you back on. I'm gonna try to get this up and running for you guys at least once a week, hopefully. I'm thinking maybe every Wednesday at 7:00. We can get a few of us together, come up with some topics, and then make some good content for the people. Mr. Robert Smith.
Hey.
Anything for the people before we wrap things up, sir?
Hit me up on Instagram _Mr. Lovin Teddy Bear, which is _MRLOVINTEDDYBEAR _ as of right now, and I'm on Facebook as Robert Smith. Yeah, it's just me.
That'll work. Again, gentlemen, I appreciate your time as always. Thank you. Y'all be safe in y'all travels. And until the next time, we are gone.